better daily, where we work hard in our minds, bodies, and our spirits to become 1% better every single day. Download the app and join our Betterment family at betterdaily.life to catch the video version of these podcasts. Here's your host and my dad, Alex Van Houten.
What is up, Betterment family? Welcome to Better Daily Live. I'm your host, Alex Van Houten, and today is Nutrition Tip Tuesday. I'm excited about Nutrition Tip Tuesday today because we're going to be talking about artificial sweeteners. So, good morning, KT. Good to see you this morning. So, artificial sweeteners are a really powerful and controversial topic in the nutrition community. And so, if you're not very aware, artificial sweeteners are the ability for us to sweeten things in general without adding calories to them, right? So, if you enjoy a Coke every now and then, or a Dr. Pepper, you're like, oh no, there's like 70 grams of sugar in there, so I'm going to be healthier and I'm going to drink a Diet Coke or a Diet Dr. Pepper, right? Or let's say you like creamer in your coffee, and so instead of adding a tablespoon of sugar to the coffee, you heard sugar was really bad for you, and so instead you do a no sugar added artificially sweetened creamer, right? So maybe you get the Starbucks Dolce pumpkin spice, no sugar added, and you add that to your coffee instead. And the question is, one, is this healthier for you? Yes or no? Two, the other question is this helping with fat loss or body composition? Yes or no? And so I wanted to talk to you this morning about artificial sweeteners. Now, before I get into this subject, when it comes to sweet anything, that is conditioning our taste buds to appreciate sweet things, you need to know that if you try to cut it all out immediately, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with some cravings. So no matter what I say today, I want you to understand that it's very important that you don't demonize carbohydrates or you don't demonize sugar necessarily in your overarching health and fitness philosophy. It's identifying the things in your life that probably aren't helping you play the best game with the hand you've been dealt in making appropriate shifts, which we'll talk about in a second. So anyway, artificial sweeteners, are they good for you? Yes or no? So these include things like asulfame potassium, sucralose, saccharin, aspartame, stevia. So this whole classification of sweeteners that don't actually add calories to the diet is what I consider your artificial sweeteners. There's a whole line of sugar alcohols now too, things like xylitol, for instance, or erythritol. You can see those on the ingredients label. They also are things that sweeten things. They taste sweet to your tongue, but when they get to your digestive tract, they can actually be used as energy. So understand, when you eat sugar, like table sugar, sucrose, that's glucose plus fructose put together. When you eat table sugar, let's say you add a teaspoon of sugar to your coffee in the morning. When you eat that, what happens is it starts breaking down in your saliva at the level of the mouth, and then when you swallow it, it finishes breaking down in your stomach and then enters the bloodstream as sugar. And then your blood sugars go up and your body uses that as energy. Now, blood sugars going up, it might be a problem for you if you're diabetic, but otherwise, it's not really that big of a deal. What happens is your body counters the blood sugar increase by secreting insulin. As blood sugar goes up, insulin rises as well. And so what that means is you have more insulin in the bloodstream, and that tells the body to take those sugars out of the bloodstream and put them in the cells to be used as fuel. So when you consume an artificial sweetener, when you consume, let's say, erythritol, for instance, or asulfame potassium, it tastes sweet, but when it gets to the level of the stomach, there's nothing there in order to be transferred from the stomach to the bloodstream. So there's no rise in blood sugar. Now, that said, that means there's no calories. There's no calories for you to use as energy. However, something that we're finding in the research, and this was established back in the 80s with regard to saccharin, and has been found with sucralose, has been found with stevia, has been found with aspartame, is that it's not actually the blood sugar rise that tells the pancreas to release insulin. A little bit of blood sugar will tell the pancreas to release insulin, but there's also an effect where when we taste sweet things, it signals to the pancreas to release some insulin into the bloodstream. And insulin's really important because insulin as a hormone is the most anabolic hormone in your body, meaning it's very, very good at building up tissue. So bodybuilders actually make use of this, right? So after a hard workout, they'll consume a very large amount of simple sugars. I know bodybuilder friends of mine who are champion level bodybuilders, natural bodybuilders, and not taking steroids or anything. And they're eating Sour Patch Kids in between sets of exercise on the fitness floor. Why? Well, they're taking advantage of the sweet taste and then the rise in blood sugar to increase insulin and build muscle, right? So cool. Kudos to them. However, understanding that insulin is anabolic, that insulin's very good at building up muscles, that insulin's very good at building up fat tissue. When you understand that, you understand that switching out your calories from sugar for no calories from artificial sweeteners actually doesn't have an effect on your insulin at all. It'll reduce the amount of calories you eat in a day. But it's not going to change the fact that your sweet tooth has your insulin levels higher than they could be otherwise. And that's a very important takeaway with regard to artificial sweeteners, okay? Because one of the things about artificial sweeteners is people think, yeah, if I could just cut out some of the sugar calories from my life, then I would be eating lower calories in a day. That means I would lose fat, right? Wrong. They've actually found in most studies where they've pitted randomized controlled trials with people who are consuming sugary beverages versus non-sugary beverages. Not that you've traded orange juice for water, but that you've traded Dr. Pepper for Diet Dr. Pepper. Okay. In studies where they actually put those side by side, what they find is a statistically significant increase in weight, not much, but some, a statistically significant increase in weight for the artificially sweetened group. So one study pitted about 76,000 women randomly controlled trial, and they had them swap out their sugary sweetened beverages for artificially sweetened beverages. And the control group just continued with their sugary creamers and their sugary drinks and all that. And then the other group, they got the diet tea and they got the diet creamers and they got the no sugar added things, right? And so they looked at these two groups. Now, neither group lost weight. The control group continued on their trajectory. The group that switched out for artificial sweeteners actually gained 2.5 pounds over the year. I know that's not a big deal, but they didn't lose it. So they actually decreased the amount of calories that they ate in a day by about 200 to 300. So 200 to 300 calories over a year. You can do the math. There's 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. You would assume that the math would work out such that if you could decrease your caloric intake 200 to 300 calories in a day for an entire year, that would make an impact. Something like 60,000 calories in a year, which should be like, 20 pounds of weight loss, plus or minus. That was really quick math in my head. Go ahead, do the calculator and let me know in the comments below if I got that about right. 200 to 300 calories in a year, 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. How many pounds of fat should you have lost that year? These women gained 2.5 pounds. That said, artificial sweeteners, they will lower your caloric intake in a day if you're replacing sugar with them. Are they actually decreasing the amount of fat that you have on your body? Research doesn't bear that out. It doesn't bear it out that if you switch out your sugary sweetened things for artificially sweetened things, that you're actually going to lose weight, that you're actually going to lose fat. And one of those mechanisms might be that artificially sweetened things still raise your insulin levels, even though your blood glucose isn't rising in response to that. So that's number one. The other thing to consider is we are also finding that artificial sweeteners like xylitol, erythritol, that they are affecting our microbiome as well. And we don't know what the implications of that are. I'm not saying that, they cause cancer or anything. There are some studies that seem to suggest that for some people they can be more toxic than other folks. But that said, we don't know what artificial sweeteners are doing for our digestive tract. So one of my clients went on my gut fix protocol, which is a 2-week protocol that I developed to help me out of an ulcerative colitis flare-up, and it seems to have helped many other people who are wrestling with digestive issues as well. He actually cut out gum. He's an ex-smoker. He was using gum to kind of help with that oral fixation that he had and kind of the anxiety. If you chew, it kind of gets rid of that need for nicotine. And so he cut out gum for those 2 weeks, and he lost 13 pounds He wasn't eating like ridiculously low. He wasn't fasting or anything. He lost 13 pounds in 2 weeks. And he would say that it has a lot to do with cutting out the artificially sweetened gum that he was chewing. Now, I'm not saying that if you are chewing gum and you cut it out, you're going to lose 13 pounds, although you might give it a shot. But the point is that we don't understand the effects of artificial sweeteners on our microbiome, especially if it's something that we're consuming every single day, whether it's artificially sweetened coffee creamers, artificially sweetened diet drinks like Diet Coke, Diet Dr. Pepper, or artificially sweetened gum. And so what I would say to you is a fewfold. One, there's absolutely no evidence that switching to artificially sweetened things over sugary sweetened things is going to help you lose fat or lose weight. Two, we don't know what it's doing to our microbiome. Three, we absolutely do know that the sweeter the things you eat, the more you're going to crave sweet things. And that's a well-established fact in the science as well. So when it comes to artificially sweetened things, you're not going to hear me on the Better Daily platform telling you, don't eat this, it's really bad for you, it's going to cause cancer. But I will say that the vast majority of my clients have gotten way better results when they start recognizing where these sweeteners are in their diet and they start working toward alternatives that will cut them down and cut them out. So for instance, let's say you love coffee, but you hate black coffee, and you love your sugary sweetened pumpkin spice creamer, and it's so good and whatnot. And if instead we took that artificially sweetened pumpkin spice pre-bought garbage from the grocery store and we replaced that with some heavy whipping cream and a dash or two of actual pumpkin spice, I'm not kidding, it's a seasoning for those of you who don't bake much. It's a seasoning called pumpkin spice. You take a tablespoon of your heavy whipping cream, you put a couple dashes of pumpkin spice there in your coffee and stir it up. Guess what? Tastes a lot like that pumpkin spice creamer, and all we've done is removed all the other garbage because pumpkin spice is pretty natural. You've got cardamom in there. You've got nutmeg for some of them. There's a few other seasonings that honestly just escape me at the moment, but they're really good and they're not bad for you. That's wonderful. Please, by all means, add pumpkin spice to your coffee. Just don't add the pumpkin spice garbage. And you might be wonderfully surprised that it doesn't alter or decrease the amount of enjoyment or pleasure you get from your cup of coffee, and you might be amazingly surprised at the difference that it has because of its ability to affect your insulin positively and its ability to affect your sweet tooth positively. So give it a shot. See how that goes. Where are artificial sweeteners in your diet? Where are you getting these? Are they hiding in your protein supplement? Are they hiding in your creamers? Are they hiding in your drinks? Where are you getting these artificial sweeteners in your diet? And are you willing to give a swap out a shot? And if you have questions about that, drop them in the comments. I'd love to help you work out what might be a positive and powerful swap out for you. Guys, this has been Alex Van Houten in Nutrition Tip Tuesday. Today we talked about artificial sweeteners and how they're probably not doing you any favors for a number of reasons. I hope this was helpful in your 1% betterment journey with regard to nutrition. Tomorrow's Wild Card Wednesday. I'm really excited to get on here and dive into some things with you then. Until next time, it's just 1%. You got this.
Thank you for joining us for your 1% Better today. Don't forget to subscribe for the podcast. Leave us a raving review to tell others how Better Daily has helped you in your journey. If you want more Better Daily, download our app and join our Betterment family at betterdaily.live. Use code POD to get 25% off your subscription. That's POD, all caps, to save 25% on your subscription. We all have a cross to carry. It's lighter when we do it together. Go to betterdaily.live today.